What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guess what? I'm excited to announce that next week I'll be visiting Japan for the first time. That said, I have quite a bit on my agenda when it comes to coasters, and it's gotten me excited to research some of what Japan has to offer. With the drop so steep and oddly angled, it looks like it provides some of the best airtime on Earth. Today's coaster is one that has been around for quite some time and has seen many design changes. Starting as a shuttle coaster, this coaster began operating back in the late 1980s and continues throwing riders today, just in a different form. Certainly one of the most bizarre coasters I've seen, and it definitely deserves a video. So what is it, and where did it come from? This is the story of Nasu Highland Park's Big Boom. In the late 1970s, roller coasters in Japan were booming, and with an increase in demand, parks large and small were looking for bigger, better, and more intense coasters. Now, at the time, most couldn't afford rides from the largest and most popular manufacturers, so they looked to a manufacturer many of you may not have heard of, but definitely should, Meisho Amusement Machines. Based out of Osaka, Japan, Meisho Amusement Machines was once the primary company for large coasters at a good price, and they never failed to provide. With unique, cloned, and bigger designs, this company created some of the weirdest coasters we know today, and their ties to this video began with the coaster installation they did back in 1979. Known as Loop Coaster, this coaster came to a park in Japan known as Tojoko Toy Kingdom, and was the first of what would be 11 coasters in the loop-de-loop model from Meisho. This model was a shuttle coaster that could vary in size, often reaching heights of nearly 200 feet, that started with a simple backwards lift before dropping riders into a loop and back up another spike. At the time, Nasu Highland Park noticed this and wanted one of their own, leading to a 1982 installation they had of one, with a name we still don't know to this day. However, just as fast as the model grew in popularity, it quickly died, and many of them around the world became rough and abandoned. In fact, only one remains in operation at Rusutsu Resort, also in Japan. But what happened to Nasu Highland's installation may surprise you, like really surprise you. It's actually still there today and hidden in plain sight. In fact, you can still ride it, in a sense. What do I mean by this? Well, Nasu Highland didn't like the idea of completely scrapping the ride, and no one wanted to buy it. So they looked back to Meisho for help, and Meisho presented a plan to essentially convert the ride into a full-circuit, bigger coaster. Yeah, the ride closed, but actually got converted into, well, Big Boom. And what's interesting is that you can actually still see this today. The original station and lift hill were never moved, while the loop was simply relocated mid-ride. This was done in only 1 year, with modifications being finished by 1987. So, what does it look like now? Well, the train now exits the station up the lift that was the initial backwards lift on the loop-to-loop model, before it makes a 180-degree turn into the first drop. This drop is an extremely awkward one with well, you can just see it. It's just mad big and weird. This is supposed to deliver some unreal airtime. I mean some real airtime. A lot of enthusiasts who have ridden this have told me that it's probably some of the best airtime in the world. This is followed by an actual airtime hill that leads into that relocated loop from the original ride, which is now in the center of the layout versus where it used to be behind the station. Another pop of airtime follows, then a turnaround, and a slow descent back into the station. What's odd too is that it uses friction wheels to bring the ride to a stop, which are mounted on the sides of the track. Super bizarre, huh? I don't think I've ever actually seen that before, besides having seen this coaster a few years back. Super weird. Unfortunately though, I recently found out this entire park is going to be closed during my visit, so I won't be able to ride this coaster, but I'll definitely be back to try it out, and I can't wait to experience that airtime. With that said though, we have now reached the end of the video, so as always, it's been a major pleasure creating new content for all of you, and I'd like to invite you to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Anything you'd be willing to do helps, so I appreciate it. Also too, leave any suggestions down below for sure, and stay tuned for another video coming in a couple days as well. Until then, thanks all for being here, and we'll see you all there. See ya.